Hello, citizens, and welcome to another edition of CyberNations Quarterly, bringing you the news once a week, every day. Our dedicated team of journalists give you everything you need to know about war, peace, alliances, reparations, espionage, celebrities, and low-fat cooking. We tour the world, see the battle zones, know what to wear, and have dinner with your world leaders. And now, here's the news. As always, we start with news from the front. In what has been described as a bizarre grasp for the spotlight or a glorious attempt to jumpstart activity, the Warpstorm Alliance declared war on fellow Purple Alliance, the Legion. Seconds after the declaration of war was posted, numerous Legion nations were attacked with nuclear weapons by the WSA, while other nations were attacked with conventional arms. During the first night of the conflict, 9 nuclear missiles glassed Legion members. Zunia, the Legion Foreign Minister and ranking cabinet member in Legion HQ at the time, moved the alliance to DEFCON 1. The Legion responded in kind by attacking WSA members with conventional weapons, followed by full nuclear strikes. The NPO promptly responded to the invoking of the Imperial Accords to aid the Legion. Joining the war against the WSA was Gato and the New Polar Order. Zunia stated, "We are proud of the quick reaction of our Legion members. Though attacked in our sleep, we were quick on our feet, striking back harder than ever before." The WSA cited the Legion as a bloated, non-functioning alliance that was at fault for the diminishment of the Purple Team on CyberNations as the main reason for the conflict. However, Zombie Francis stated that the WSA pulled off this coordinated strike to try and bring war back into a war game. Indeed, CyberNations Quarterly had no news from the front until the WSA attacked the Legion. In all, 19 ICBMs have fallen on Purple nations. And now we go to Jack Hoff, our war correspondent on loan from the newspaper. Jack?
Yeah, thanks, Sir Paul. I'm like here in dystopia or something, and the capital city of here is just a loosely forsaken wasteland. I mean, I'm like walking around and people are charred black from the radiation and shit, and, but no, man, it's just so fucking cool. I love watching nukes go off. It gets me all like psyched and shit. I mean, but it's a loosey thing. I mean,
Thank you for your report, Jack. Oh my. Anyways, as the war presses on, it should be noted that there are still nuclear weapons in possession of the WSA, with dystopia having 2. There will be more death and destruction before this war is over. However, there is some good coming out of this destruction. Countless nations and alliances have offered aid and charity to the nuked Legion members for their efforts and recovery. Nabo, Odeon Secretary General, personally offered $100,000. However, despite much OOC support for shaking up the world, the WSA is not getting any IC support or aid, which would bring the wrath of the Legion, Gato, New Pacific Order, and New Polar Order. Next up is news from the rear. It looks like the GGA and Indian may go to war over a matter of 30 silver. Months ago, the two alliances battled, and the Neutral Defense Network was handily defeated by the much stronger Grand Global Alliance. As part of the peace treaty, the Indian was expected to pay 125,000 bottle caps in reparation, though this figure appears to have been reduced to 100,000. Spazin offered around 70,000 before the close of the time limit and offered to pay the remaining 30,000 within 5 days. The aid was rejected by Prodigal Chieftain and demanded the full amount. Normally, such a trivial matter is ignored by the world stage, if it were not for the dreaded S-word, spying. Spazin accused the GGA of planting a spy in the organization during the waning days of the GGA-Indian War, and has admitted to receiving information regularly from 5 Indian members. The GGA insists that the information was passed along by disgruntled Indian members who are attempting to stage a coup and topple Spazin and instill new leadership in the alliance. Much dirty laundry has been aired by both Prodigal Chieftain and Spazin, and have sent flaming posts and PMs to each other. What could be staying the march to war is the size differential of the alliances, 300 plus to 12, and perhaps international pressure. The aid records do show that Spazin sent a very large chunk of aid and could have easily sent the money in 2 aid slots. However, Prodigal Chieftain is in the position that the treaty was broken, partially due to provocative speech by Spazin, and that the aid should have been sent in 1 packet immediately. In an offer to temper the temperaments, Kernwaffen offered to pay the difference, and Nabo offered ODN money and mediation to settle the debt and set up a payment structure for the NDN. Since Prodigal Chieftain has no official power in the GGA, political commentators are watching to see if this tiff will erupt into armed conflict. In an unrelated story, Frank Carboni offered a bounty of 100,000 plus war expenses to anyone who put Spazin into anarchy. Spazin could not be reached for comment, as the hippie shield accidentally cut off communications with his nation. Yeehaw! And now it's time for the Alliance Roundup. Today we will look at the Green Protection Agency, the International Green Coalition, and the New Polar Order. The Green Protection Agency is an old and experienced alliance with 190 nations and rising. They are one of the strongest, if not the strongest Green Team alliance. Their president, United Blobs, along with the rest of the GPA government, are very experienced players and do a good job of maintaining the alliance's neutrality, and have recently been upgraded to a sanctioned alliance complete with forum mask. Now to the International Green Coalition, which contains over 30 members and is led by Empress Rhizonia and the Senate. Although the IGC is relatively new, they contain some very experienced members such as Gladiator or Extraordinaire, Rhizonia, and United Anarchist. What they lack in numbers, they make up with strength and experience. With this alliance becoming more active and increasingly populated, they are certainly something to keep an eye on. Last but not least is the New Polar Order. The New Polar Order was founded by Emperor of the New Pacific Order, Ivan Moldavi, just after the collapse of the NAAC. Many alliances and nations criticized and accused the New Pacific Order of imperialism when they created the New Polar Order. However, since then, the New Pacific Order has allowed the New Polar Order to become independent. The New Polar Order is led by an elected Emperor Tigaland and an alliance and war councilors with 1-month terms. The alliance has an estimated 100 members, and with a forum mask and experienced leadership, the New Polar Order is asserting itself on the world stage. That's it for the Alliance Roundup. Yeehaw. Oh my god, we got some breaking news! Dark Wizard, Chancellor of the Organization of Imperial Nations, issued a decree that a new treaty organization was formed to provide mutual aid and increased influence to small alliances within the cyberverse. The League of Minor Alliances, or LUMA for short. Although experts are unable to determine why they are called LUMA instead of LOMA, we have determined that the 5 alliances have joined LUMA. They are the OIN, EOT, AEF, FIS, and Angel. To keep membership restricted to small alliances and prevent large alliances to Bigfoot the treaty organization, all alliances who wish to ratify LUMA must be 100 nations or smaller. However, once a member of LUMA, alliances are allowed to go past the 100 nation mark without fear of eviction. Some small alliances, however, are rejecting the charter and opting to remain unaffiliated. The CyberNations Defense Initiative has refused to ratify the treaty organization because of the mandatory defense requirements. However, it is interesting to see a major treaty organization founded since the end of the Independence Council. Since that disintegration, virtually all discussion is of a bilateral nature. Kudos to LUMA for being bold. And now, here's a word from our sponsor, the New Pacific Order. Meet Ivan. He's a world leader that has it all, except for one thing.
It's the fastest growing orange juice company on the planet. I want majority control and I want it yesterday.
But sometimes, hostile takeovers require a delicate dance.
Miss Hope, you're going against the most powerful conglomerate in the world.
And you're going against the most determined woman in the world.
Sometimes the things we want the most are the things we need the least.
This acquisition will happen.
Well then, I expect dinner first.
This summer, from the alliance that brought you Vladimir's List and Some Like It Cold, comes the story of the Citrus Wars as they've never been told before. Sir, the credits run out, we've caught them on a short squeeze. All we have to do is call the bank and she's yours.
If I call the bank, she'll never be mine.
The only thing more powerful than the NPO war machine is love.
You know why you called off your troop?
Why?
Because you finally understand that the heart cannot be conquered.
Citrus, find your main squeeze. And finally, news you can use. Although some people believe that olive oil is a panacea for your diet, its chief benefit is that sautéed vegetables taste better when steamed, which means that people will actually eat them. So make sure to go easy when you're pouring that fatty drizzle. That's all the news.
Nobody expects you!
Jack Hoff, you are so fired. Get your loser ass out of my office. Thank you for watching CyberNations Quarterly, bringing you the news once a week, every day.